Hey guys, sorry I'm gone today. Unfortunately, we are starting a project today, but with the ability now to use technology and for me to make some videos for you, I can tell you exactly what you need to do, even though I'm not here in the classroom. So let's talk about that. Today, we are going to be starting a project that we're going to be working on throughout the week. I don't have a set deadline for it yet, but we will be having a number of work days throughout the week where we can do this. But you are going to be creating a map and a country. What this is going to allow us to do is basically put together our ideas that we have learned about culture, geography, and maps all into one before we move on to our first unit and our first culture, real culture, around the world. So the objective, as I mentioned, is to be able to identify and analyze how geographical features have impacted or can impact culture. This is going to be a project, so it's essentially like a 75-point test. So it's really important you guys use your time wisely while I'm gone and get as much done as you can. Save any questions for me for tomorrow, and I will gladly answer those for you. So you're going to use your textbook and the internet to help you build a nation that you will rule. So this is your chance to create a complete nation that you are in charge of that is complete fictional. So let your creative juices flow when you design this country. And it can look however you want as long as it meets all the requirements of the features listed below. To earn an A, remember you must have all of the following features that I am requesting you to have on your map. So good luck, have fun. It is meant to be challenging. It will be challenging, but keep working through it and you will learn a lot about geography, culture, and map making. So what does your map have to have on it? First of all, like I said, you need to kind of come up with a theme for your map. What do you want your country to look like? How big do you want your country? How small do you want your country? So the first thing you're going to do probably is create some sort of a grid system, latitude and longitude. Remember, latitude is you're like stepping up a ladder, so it's the horizontal lines, and longitude is vertical, up and down. Set them up into 5-degree intervals. If you want a big country, you're going to want more lines of latitude and more lines of longitude because that's going to show that it's a bigger country. So, for example, the United States spans roughly over 20 degrees of latitude, right? And we're a pretty darn big country. So you'll get points for doing that, as well as naming and labeling your country in all capital letters. Feature 2 is probably going to be one of the most time-consuming for you, and planning-wise, you're going to have to get this into the shape of your country. So there are, I believe, 28 different geographical features here. You have to pick 18 of these physical features, define them on the back of this sheet somewhere, and also display and label them on your map, right? So they have to fit into the shape of your country or somewhere on the inland of your country. We have not gone over these. Some of these you will know, some of these you will not. So you will most likely have to do a Google search for some of these physical features to figure out what they are. And as I mentioned, define them on back in your own words, please. So 18 of those. Feature number 3, you need to have 4 cities on your map. So you need to label and name these 4 cities, and then write down the latitude and longitude of the capital city. So one of those 4, which you're going to mark with a star, because that's what we do for capitals, is going to have the exact latitude and longitude listed in the key. Also, while we're talking about the key, make sure you put any other symbols that you might use throughout your map in the key. So for example, if you chose mountains as one of your 18 geographical physical features, and you don't want to write only mountains, you can show that by symbols, by using like little mountainy type symbols, and then later show in the key that that is mountains, or that they are marked mountains. Feature 4, draw and label a compass rose to show direction on your map, right? We need to know where north is, where south is. Up does not always mean north. So make sure you come up with a compass rose. That should be an easy one. Feature 5. Just basically, is your map creative? Is it neatly colored? Did you take some time? Is there effort on it? Does it make sense? Is it accurate, right? If you have rivers, if you chose rivers, do they empty into some sort of larger body of water, or do they just like randomly disappear? So be thinking about those types of things. That's 10 points. Feature 6 is on the back side. I'll have some writing space here for you for your definitions, but also for writing a paragraph analyzing how the landforms that you chose and the bodies of water that you chose could impact human settlement there, right? So be thinking about that as you do it. How would the ocean that you chose impact human settlement into your country? How would an island in the middle of the biggest lake possibly impact your country? How would swamp impact where people live and maybe the resources that people get from there? So just a paragraph explaining some of those features and how it impacts essentially the culture and the human settlement of your nation. And lastly, attached to this, I have a 5 themes of blank worksheet for your country. This is very similar to the 5 themes of SOC worksheet that we did just a little bit ago, but now you're going to do that for the country that you have created. So once again, think about your location, think about your place, think about those 2 things and how it's going to impact movement, right? The regions that it's a part of, as well as human-environment interaction. So there's a lot of critical thinking skills going on here, and you're going to have to put some work and some effort into it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can come up with. I will be around a computer every once in a while today, so if you want to shoot me an email, feel free to do so. You will have the majority of class today, and you'll have at least 2 other class periods this week, about 20 to 30 minutes apiece, to work on this in class. All right? Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, and get to work. Be good for the sub. Peace.